Everybody, this is Dr. Joe Borio with this week's Thought Flash. First item to announce is we've got a big event coming up in July on the 20th, 21st in Boston, and it's going to be a Chiropassion event. We are bringing in, I'm going to be speaking, Dr. Curtis Fedorchuk's going to be speaking. He was CBP Researcher of the Year. He's going to talk about technique. He's going to talk about chiropractic. He's going to talk about research. We're also bringing in Dr. Martha Nessler. She's going to be speaking Friday night. Dr. Michelle Golick's going to be speaking Friday night as well. We're going to be discussing, Friday night starts at 5 o'clock, philosophy extravaganza, and then we're going to go all day Saturday. It's certainly going to change your life and certainly change your practice. Hopefully I'll see you there, and certainly spread the word. What we're doing in Chiropassion Consulting is great, and certainly has affected a lot of practices, serving a lot more people. Love to have you join us and be part of the Chiropassion team. That being said, I wanted to touch base a little bit today on philosophy, and I thought it'd be nice to kind of review the 33 principles. I've got Rob Siddon's book, which I'm reading over for the third time, and it's chiropractic textbook. It's a remake, if you will. Hopefully Rob doesn't get mad at me in using that terminology, but it's a remake of the original textbook by Stevenson back in the early 1920s, and it's really on just on chiropractic philosophy, and it's got some quizzes in the back of each chapter, which is great. But I want to talk about 33 principles. Let's talk about what is universal intelligence briefly here. The major premise. Siddon discusses the understanding of the principles with the idea that you really have full clarity as a chiropractor if you understand the principles. And principle number one is certainly the most important principle, because it's the principle in which we place all the other bricks on. So you got 32 other bricks that you're placing on top of the first one. So it's the cornerstone, it's critical, and it's very important to chiropractic. And it's called the major premise. And really, D.D. Palmer coined this initial aspect of understanding what chiropractic is. And the major premise is a universal intelligence is in all matter and continually gives to it all its properties and actions, thus maintaining it in existence. It was interesting, I was watching the news, and they said the God particle had been discovered, and it's the Higgins particle, I believe. But what it was is it was a particle that they felt as though existed, and they identified it at CERN. They've tried to smash things together, if you will, smash energy together to get it to exist, and then capture it so that they can measure it. And the critical part of this God particle is that it gives mass to matter. It gives mass to energy, if you will. And if you look at light, for example, it's a wave and a particle, and that particle aspect of it, its behavior, if you will, is essentially the mechanistic aspect, and the wave is the vitalistic aspect of it, if that makes sense. So what really gives mass to matter, this is what they believe does. It gives mass to matter. But again, when you break these things down, what they're measuring that gives mass is energy. You know, so it's a different particle that gives mass to other bits of energy. And if you look at a lot of the new mathematical computations of string theory, they say that there aren't different particles. They're bits of energy vibrating at a different frequency, a different tone, vibration, and those are the things that D.D. Palmer talked about 100 years ago. So it's pretty amazing when you read the words of D.D. and then you relate that to where science is going now from a metaphysical aspect. And I think it's so critical as chiropractors to really have a good understanding of physics and chemistry and metaphysics, and be able to almost work in the field of what Einstein was, who was an abstract physicist, and really start putting all that stuff together. Because as weird as that sounds, you know, when you adjust somebody, you know, and you hear people say, "You're going to crack my back," you know, that isn't chiropractic. Chiropractic isn't even just, if you will, just the adjustment. To really and I don't say this out of judgment, but in my opinion, to be a chiropractor, it has, I don't want to say it has nothing to do with the chiropractor, but the adjustment. But the adjustment is a part of what it is we do. It's why we do the adjustment that makes us chiropractors. It's why you put your hands on somebody and apply a thrust. It's the intention of the adjustment, but it's not even that. It's why do you have that intention? You know, and it's because there is a intelligence in all matter. And then when you go further into the chiropractic meaning of life, you realize that triune exists. So what we see is that there's intelligence, and there's, you know, there's intention, and there's force, and there's energy. All of those things combined with matter animate tissue and give chiropractic, if you will, the meaning of life. So there's some intelligence that exists in all things. And then that intelligence applied with force in matter allows it to become alive, allows it to be animated. And your adjustment allows it to be, if you will, more alive, or because with the subluxation there's less tone, less vibration, or your adjustment allows the body to work closer to the way it was perfectly intended to work. I mean, it's the why that makes us chiropractors. And unfortunately, that has gotten lost in a large part of our profession, and it's understandably why. You know, you're not educated that way in school, and then when you come out of school, you know, your concern, as mine was, hey, I owe a ton of money. I've got to open up an office. I got to start to work, and then you start looking at, hey, what works, what brings people in, and then, hey, this is what brings people in, so I better start doing that. And then the next thing you know, even if you had some philosophy, that starts to take, you know, not even backcourt, that starts to take something that you're not even paying attention to anymore, because now it just becomes about paying the bills and growing the practice. And the reality is the bills never stop. I mean, from a guy who started with a lot of debt and moved into a successful practice, you know, what starts to happen is your life gets bigger. As you make more money, your life gets bigger. And that's certainly a mistake a lot of people make. Certainly that was the direction that I went in. You know, the next thing you know, you have one car, you got 2 cars, you got a bigger house, and the next thing, all that other stuff starts to grow, when in reality, you need to come back and you need to really focus on the why. And the why is what makes us chiropractors. The why is what's going to allow you to serve people. The why is what's going to make you serve the masses. The why is what makes you the most ultimately successful chiropractors. And I don't say that out of the financial means. The chiropractors that have the biggest impact in humanity are the ones that practice principled. Now, financially, the chiropractors that do the best financially are the chiropractors that practice principled chiropractic. So if you look at it from any aspect of success, however you want to measure success, those chiropractors that are most principle-based are the ones that are seeing and serving and more successful on almost every level, but it comes down to those 33 principles. And in Sinnott, when I refer to Sinnott, and this is his book here, Rob Sinnott, okay, chiropractic textbook, and Billy DeMoss actually gave me this. It's just a nice gift that I got from Billy when I spoke at CalJam, so very nice. Thank you, Billy DeMoss. But the major premise is your first step, in the words of Sinnott here, and I don't mean to be going on too long here, the first step in your journey is one based upon formal logic, as has been presented in the examples above. You see manifestations of intelligence in the physical world on a constant basis. And Sinnott went on to really say that the nature of man causes a natural wonder of our own existence. It is this inherent curiosity that drives us to reconcile within ourselves a plausible explanation for the phenomena of being. The question of why, which is what Dede had. The evidence of your organization is everywhere around us. We can only surmise a cause of order to account for the state of observable occurrences. Really interesting. Great book. Principle number 1, we have to understand that there is, you've got a hydrogen atom and a hydrogen atom, and what makes one the same as the other is the exact measurement, a compartmentalized atom of energy. And there's a perfect measurement of that energy within each atom, which separates a different amount of energy in one, separates that hydrogen atom, from helium atom, from an oxygen atom, a nitrogen atom, and so forth. And understanding that there's an intention, a structure to that. That means that there's a structure and intention to the body. That means there's a structure and intention to how the body works and how the brain works and how the messages work and how the brain communicates to the body and so forth. So understanding all that really comes down to how well the body's supposed to work and how healthy you're supposed to be. But don't forget, we've got an event coming up in July 20th and 21st. So I'm real excited about that. It's going to be in Boston. Hopefully I see you there. Hopefully I see your family there and friends there and other colleagues there. You can bring your staff there. I'd like to see them there as well. And we can really talk about philosophy and science. Again, we're going to have Dr. Curtis Fedorchuk there. Martha Nessler is going to be there. Michelle Golick's going to be speaking there, along with many others. And we're really going to be getting into the aspects of how to run your practice better, how to serve more people, how to have more fun in practice, how to be more successful as a chiropractor. So hopefully I'll see you there and the rest of your staff there. Again, it's July 20th to 21st, and it's going to be in Boston. May your innate always flow from above down, inside out, guys. Enjoy serving. I'll talk to you guys next week.
Best friend gave me